Oh boy, stick around. It's about to get interesting. I better make sure I've got a respirator for today. That's gonna be a lot of work. Today we're going to order the sill pans for our permanent man doors. The problem is that their custom depth, the jam depth, is 8 1/4 inches, and therefore we cannot buy a product that's already on the market. So we're going to have a local metal shop fabricate these out of 18 gauge stainless steel, and that will give us the proper sill protection for the doors and for the SIPs. The problem is, on the man door in the garage, we actually have the apron, which is sloping away from the slab. And so this one's gonna have to be pretty intricate. Hopefully they can get this done. Once we get them back, we can actually install our man doors. Which couldn't come at a better time, because last night the house actually dropped about 7 degrees overnight inside. Well, in the garage anyway. I've deduced that the cold air is coming in through the garage and going out through the cracks and things that we haven't foamed or sealed up in the living level, which means when we get down into the teens, we're not going to be able to keep it warm in here if we don't get things sealed up. Sealing up includes getting the garage door weather stripping installed, but first we've got to get these doors trimmed out, because the doors are basically installed to the rough opening, and we just scabbed on some 2x4s to kind of reduce the gaps in the doors. But clearly you can see the shadow over here, or it's not the shadow, but like the sunlight coming through. We've still got a lot of work left to do to get these garage doors tight. Once that's tight, man doors are tight, and we get the windows upstairs all foamed in, I think we're good to go. Alright guys, it's time to do everyone's favorite task, which is to sand all of these joints. Oh wow, we may have a much bigger problem, holy crap. So yeah, that won't work. Holy cow, what the heck? That's terrible. Yeah, I've never had that happen before. So apparently I made this stuff too thick or something, or maybe it dried too fast. Wonder if this side did it. No, not really. I mean, well, yeah, up there it did. I'll be darned. Well, yeah, my gosh. Oh man, it's gonna be fun tonight, guys. If we survive this bathroom. Woo-wee. I don't even know what to do with that. I think I'm gonna sand it, and then I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know if I should put another topping of mud on there or what. Oh boy, stick around. It's about to get interesting. Yeah, right here too. My gosh. Come on, mud, you have one job. Come on. small problem, guys. Well, other than my white tan here, camera is completely covered in gypsum dust. Not good, not good. It went way better than I expected. I'm actually not even ashamed to show this off a little bit. Nice and smooth. Is it perfect? No. But that's what texture's for, right? And everybody thought texture was for looks. It's to hide imperfections, duh. So, we are not gonna get away with sin on this. There's still a few cracks up here that are showing, so that's gonna need just a slight topping coat of mud. And this side's horrible. I don't understand what happened here. It's like gaping. Crazy. Anyway, I've got the heater over here, and those of you who do this for a living know the smell of burnt gypsum dust. It's amazing. That's what happens when you have a heater running while you're sanding, which is somewhat common, I would think, because you're trying to dry this stuff out as quick as possible. That's actually getting pretty dry. Right there in the corner where it's the thickest, is still, you can still actually move that. That's crazy. I might try to use a sponge or something. Actually, that's a great idea. I wonder, nah. It's tempting to try to hit that with a sponge and see if I can get those cracks to kind of give up. I don't know. What do you guys think? I don't know. Let's try a little bit. How's that? Nope. I don't think we're gonna get any luck. Looks like we're gonna need a topping coat of mud there, fill in all those cracks. I think over here, yep. I hit that with a sponge sander, and it's better, but there's still just a little dimple right where those two panels meet. And I think I kind of learned my lesson on having too big of a gap between those panels. Otherwise, corners are all looking nice. Ceiling's looking good. I might be able to touch up that corner right there just a little bit. This little area of bullnose right here leading into the shower turned out really good. I mean, it's not perfect. I don't know if stuff like that even matters. I have no clue. But overall, I'd say it looks pretty good. We'll fill this gap with caulk, or caulk. Call it what you want, guys. So I think I was using 100 grit sanding mesh for this, and you can see how easy it is to get too aggressive. Of course, the idea is that when you put the tape into this joint, because the sheetrock is actually tapered on the edges where there's a joint if you do it right. If you make a cut, you want to try to put the cut end, say, at the floor where there's not going to be any tape or mud, and put the beveled edges, or whatever they're called, tapered edges, together. And then all you want to do is fill that till it's level, which basically gives you a continuous surface. Really, it comes down to a lot of light and how the lights end up casting all the shadows in here, and that's part of why we texture. Acoustics are actually part of texturing too. I know that a room that has flat walls tends to be very, very echoey, like cavernous, kind of like right now. And I think that after we texture this, not only will it look very different, it'll actually sound a little bit different too. I think it's pretty common for drywallers to use pretty harsh light, like work lights. Part of it's to cast shadows up and down the walls and things so they can see imperfections in their mud and tape. And of course, once we put the lighting in the bathroom, you kind of want that stuff to be somewhat soft. Most home lighting is fairly soft. It's not super direct, and rarely does it cast a shadow down a wall, although I guess if you had a light on the wall, that would happen. But most things are about soft light, right? Okay, so we've got to get this fixed just a little bit. I mean, it's only really right at the top, which is really weird why this side didn't go bonkers and this side, which is the thinner side, did. And then I think we're right there. We're ready for texture. That probably means we should be masking. I know you pros watching this got a big fat belly laugh when you saw this little texture gun. I don't have a hopper I've rented one in the past just because I don't do this for a living, and owning such a tool, it's gonna just take up valuable space. But I think it's worth doing because I don't know why, but I've never been able to get a good finish out of these cans of texture. I don't know. It's something about the material. I don't know if it's because it's got some sort of a propellant or something in the can. It seems like to get the texture that you really want, you need just good joint compound that's mixed to the right consistency. I'm curious to see how well this does. What attracted me to this over renting or borrowing a hopper is that the hopper is very small. Look at that. I think it holds 3 liters. Unlike the ones that professionals use, which hold like, gosh, what do they hold, guys? 2.5 gallons or something? Or 3 gallons? They're insanely hard to hold up because they're so heavy. So I thought, how fun would it be to have a little gun that is fairly easy to hold? And I don't know, I guess if you're not trying to do massive houses, refilling the hopper, it's not that big of a deal. I also decided to get away from the pre-mixed joint compound and grabbed some powdered compound. And we'll mix this hopefully to a good consistency to go into the hopper. I do need to mix up just a little bit to do the mudding on those sides. This stuff is available in different cure times. This is 20-minute cure, and they say it's workable for 20 minutes. They make stuff that's all the way up to 90 minutes. And as you see, that joint compound that I used beside the bath, it's been there for 24 hours. Now, I get it that it's thick and it's not very warm in the garage. We're sitting at 55 degrees. Hopefully, this stuff will go off fairly quickly, which will allow us to knock it down, get it broomed, and then we can get some paint on this darn bathroom. All right, I took some time and I really touched up a lot of these joints, and they're looking much better. It just feels good to my mind. I feel like Alyssa said, you can't really retexture a wall, not easily. You can repaint a wall, but the texture is gonna be there for a while. So take your time, right? Got that touched up. This guy's all touched up. Put a little bit of mud in that corner. Brought the mud down on this guy to below the vanity height, and that should do it. So while we wait for that to dry, I think we should get the hopper set up and do some kind of testing with this gun. I feel like that's, it's a good idea anyway. All right, let's do that. Let's just mix up some mud. We'll shoot some texture onto some sheetrock and see what the heck happens. First thing, I know that we need to reduce the pressure on this, and I think we cannot go over 70 pounds. So why don't we drop this to, let's try 50. Cute little guy, huh? Oh, doesn't that look durable? Oh yeah, that looks super durable. All right, so it looks like we've got slots that will change the size of blobs we're gonna get. Oh yeah, no chance we're gonna break this today. No way. Actually, there's a very high chance that we're gonna break it before too long. Huh? Didn't even read the instructions. How do you like that? Typical dude. So then there's A, B, C, and D. Oh, kind of like D. Let's see here. Do not exceed 70 PSI. Set compressor regulator at 30. Gradually increase air pressure to obtain desired spray pattern. Do not exceed 70. So we have orange peel, splatter, and knockdown. We should use setting 3 and then B. 3 Bravo. Got it. Yep, that might be too thick. Also, because this is 20-minute mud, we probably want to not mix up too much here at first, just until we get time to kind of test it out. Once we kind of get a formula, consistency, pressure, and settings, then we'll probably mix the biggest batch we can. That way we don't have to fill the hopper very much, because as you see, it's a lot of fun. So I know that part of this is maintaining the correct spacing. It's getting the pressure setting correct, getting your gun settings right. See, look at that, I already moved that, just messing around with it. All right, let's kind of do, like, let's just shoot this a little bit and see what happens here. Wait for it. So that's actually giving us like an orange peel. And let's see, why is that? Is that because we don't have enough air? Hopper's good. We're getting a really fine texture. So let's go to D. That's a lot heavier. I think our mud is right there. It's looking pretty good. It is a little thick in the hopper, so it's not wanting to move down in the hopper. As far as like the texture goes, that's looking really good. I'd be pretty happy with that. It's certainly not knocked down. Let's do a little bit more here. That's better. It's a little heavy, kind of over here, a little heavy. So we might want to go a little heavier in there. That's pretty good. I certainly wouldn't knock that down. It's not nowhere near big enough. Let's go to number 4. And now we're like way too thick on our texture, if there is such a thing. I definitely wouldn't knock that down. So maybe our pressure's too high, because I feel like if the pressure's too high, it's gonna just like kind of fling it out of there. Whereas if it's low, it kind of lobs it. I will say this hopper A, with only a quart of mud in there, is a lot lighter. But a quart of mud did like 2 feet by 4 feet. That's not a good sign. The other thing is the gun seems a lot more consistent. That's my complaint about those stupid cans, is whatever propellant is in there is just wildly inconsistent. And you get like a few globs, and then you get a bunch of little flecks, and it's just a mess. Turn this down just a little bit. Let's go to like 35. We'll set sample A out of the way. That's pretty heavy texture, honestly. Let's use this new sample here. And with what little bit of mud we have left, we're on setting 4, setting D. Let's try A. Really small orange peel. Let's try this. This is D. Oh yeah. I think that's good enough for a sample. So that's definitely knocked down, like right there. See how that big glob? That's gonna need to be kind of flattened a wee bit. That'll all knock down okay, but all of this is kind of orange peely. I think at 30 PSI, setting 4, setting D, and maybe a little bit thinner mud, maybe a little thinner, we might be able to get some knockdown. Send text message to Lover Buns. Hey Lover Buns, do you want to come look at this texture and help me decide which way to go?
Ready to send it?
Yep.
I'll send your message.
Read text message from Lover Buns.
Then I can grab potatoes. Would you like to reply?
Yes, please.
To whom should I send your message?
Lover Buns.
What do you want to say?
Sounds good. Nice thing about 20-minute mud is that this should set up pretty quick. So this is a really heavy orange peel, minus this huge embarrassing blob right here. So I would say that's pretty high hiding. It's got some texture to it. You're not gonna wanna knife that. In fact, it's a little heavy right here. Kind of all starts to blend in, which is embarrassing. But this guy over here, if we give it maybe 15 minutes or so, it'll start to firm up, and then we can just knife that and kind of blend all that stuff together.
You called?
Yeah. So I'm doing a couple of samples.
Cool. Oh.
This is like a heavy-ish knockdown. It's not like big knockdown, but you could knock this down and get somewhat of a knockdown look. This is more like heavy orange peel. So it's too soon because this mud's not firmed up yet, but.
Oh, see, that's kind of nice.
And that's what knockdown looks like.
Okay.
It's not, the mud's still pretty soft.
Man, you know, I kind of like that.
I'll give it a shot.
Yeah.
I kind of like knockdown myself.
Yeah.
I don't really like orange peel because I feel like it's really hard to do evenly.
Right.
It's like either too much or not enough, and then like you come back to get a little spot and it like hits a big blob.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I needed.
Okie doke.
Thanks, lover buns. Better get out of here before you get white.
before you contaminate me.
Might be too late. We've got to wait for that mud to dry in there, but we still have quite a bit to do. We can't sand that just yet, but it's only been on there for 20 minutes, and it's right near sandable already. So that's coming good. This is gonna be probably another 20 minutes or so before it's ready to sand. Let's work on getting things masked. I think that's a good use of time for texture. That's looking really good. We're really close to being able to sand those side places. So let's give that mud just a few more minutes to dry. I guess we can just start mixing mud. And we're gonna need quite a bit. So I think what we'll do is we'll use these pails from yesterday and we'll make up 2 of these. If we have enough mud, that is. So I think we're only going to be able to fit 2 quarts in about 1.5 quarts of water. Let's try that. Somewhere in the beautiful set of tools that we got from the older gentleman, the estate sale, if you've been following us for a while, is a mixer, a paddle mixer. And no, I don't know where it is. We looked for half an hour earlier in storage. I've looked through the tools I have here. It's somewhere hiding. So I'm gonna use a paint stick. I would think if we get the consistency right, we should be able to stir it. I think we're gonna mix this in a lot bigger batch, because this is not gonna work. We're gonna run through this mud super fast and can't be over here mixing mud all the time. I guess that's why you want to mix up one big batch. So you want to get the consistency just right, and you don't want to mix it again. Uh-oh guys, I feel like I just walked into a trap. So this 20-minute mud is setting up on me already, and it's setting up in the gun. Should have known. I was thinking I could get away with just setting it there for a little while. But guess what? Nope. So now I'm gonna have to hurry. So I just mixed up all of my 20-minute mud. All right, dodged that bullet. Don't really want all this crap going down the septic, but it's what it is, I guess. I've got to get this texture on ASAP. Knock that off. Man, really? Stuff won't thin out. It's too thick, guys. It's too thick. What a booger. I don't think it's gonna spray. Wow. Whew, huge lesson learned there. Look at that. This stuff is no joke. I don't think we're gonna get it back, guys. I think it's done. I think it's done. Too much lollygagging. Wow. Yeah, this stuff's done. It's done. It's just turned into a rock. Mixed it in too big of a batch. I don't know how long to mess with this. I think I'm done. I think I'm done. Not gonna work. I don't know. I don't know what happened there. I guess maybe if I had a power mixer, I might be able to bring it back, but I don't. And I'm extremely frustrated by that because I know I have one. Oh well, can't win them all, right? I guess until I either find my power mixer suddenly or I guess we'll wait till tomorrow. Stupid. Well, guys, failed. I actually grabbed a piece of rebar and tried to bend it. It doesn't matter, it's too late. So I just learned a really powerful, really powerful lesson with this stuff. That's in 20 minutes. I don't know what I would do differently. I would probably say with 20-minute mud, mix it in small batches and don't use it for texture. So just spent 15 minutes cleaning up this horrific pigsty over here. Super frustrating. Really wanted to texture this tonight. I guess I'd rather learn this lesson in my garage than in my living area. Huge chunks of worthless mud. I think it's time to take a short breather. Kind of think about what I want to do. Really can't do anything. We're so close to getting this textured. Drywall, you are my nemesis. Send text message to Lover Buns. Had a big meltdown / failure / not gonna be able to texture tonight. Learned a really big lesson about 20-minute sheetrock mud.